Hey there, I'm Cyberchroma. Welcome to the stream. Mwahaha. I don't know. My stream deck isn't connected to OBS. I clicking the button that's supposed to switch from the starting screen to this screen, and it's not doing. So I don't know why that's happening. It also wouldn't work to. I have a separate button that's supposed to start the stream, but it's not doing for some reason. Oh well, had to go manually this time. Ah well, delayed the stream by a couple seconds, but that's fine. Hello, welcome. You may notice that I sound a bit different. Also, we're gonna immediately lower things. Whoa. So, between last stream and now, I, shablamo, got a new microphone. Got what the real guys have. Hold on, let's, I don't know how much that's ruining things by moving it around, but that's okay. Do I have... Hold on, I'm gonna grab my old microphone. Give me 2 seconds. Okay, so, up until yesterday, I guess, I had this microphone, a Blue Yeti. Whoa, pretty good mic, but can only be so good as far as, like, I don't know. This is called, I think this is a condenser microphone. This is a dynamic microphone. I barely know audio-related terminology and information in general on how mics work and whatnot, but this plugs directly into a computer. This has the fancy XLR cables. I believe that's what they're called. And, yeah, better microphone or whatever. I'm going to put this back. I'll put it over here for now. That's fine. So this is what brand are you? Shure SM7DB. So it's like the podcast kind of microphone, I believe. Just keep messing around with it. And I guess it's gonna be slightly in frame, but I guess that's fine. I can live with it. Oh, let's get background music going. Blammo. Whoop. Everything's good. So, between yesterday and now, I've been doing a whole bunch of tinkering with this thing, trying to get it all set up, and I hopefully did a decent job, and hopefully it doesn't sound worse than the other one. Like, alright, I did some test recordings, and I think it sounds better, overall. Yeah, so, but yeah, it required a lot of messing with settings and whatnot to get there, because I can't exactly show, I have other doodads that, like, you know, attempting to pull them out and put them in view of camera will likely make stuff get disconnected and have things stop working. But a microphone like this gets more complicated because you don't just have the microphone. With the old one I had that I've had for how many, like 2 years or something? No, I think did I have that one when I first started streaming? Or maybe shortly after, when the one I had before broke, maybe something like that. In terms of microphones that I've had in the past, I first had is it a Blue Snowball? It's like a spherical kind of looking mic. It looks interesting. Yeah, there's that, and then that broke, and then I got another of the same one, and then a couple years later, then got the Blue Yeti, until now, when I got this one. It's like a proper professionally microphone. It has XLR cables that then go into an interface thing. But I have one that's called a Volt 1. That's just what it's called. That has different dials and buttons that do different things. And I think I got things set up to the correct stuff for it to work properly. Yeah, and then even this microphone at the back, there's buttons that do stuff. So I think I got everything all good. And then additionally on top of that, I go infinite OBS. Wah. I did some messing around with I find the audio thing over here and filters. Blah. I messed around with actually having some filters going on in addition to having with the microphone to hopefully have it sound better. So as a comparison, I think it changes immediately. This is what it sounds like when all this stuff's off, and this is what it sounds like when everything's on. This is more to stop like noise and whatnot, and these things are more to stop peaking. So like when I talk at a normal volume, even with these on, it should sound basically the same. Just these stop if there's like background hum, and these are basically stopping if I'm yelling, having it not sound as bad. So yeah, that's a cool stuff, cool developments. I also got a new pair of headphones. They're white. They're just a lot better than these ones, and these ones I've had for quite a while, and they're, I don't know. These ones are just a lot tighter around my ears. So that's something I didn't like. These just sound better, but like, yeah, I've had these for a while. So they're, yeah. Anyways, so yeah, I've upgraded or whatever. As well, another thing that's gonna hopefully help the stream a bit. I got a new keyboard as well. Specifically, I went looking for a keyboard that is quiet, a lot quieter than the clickety clickety clack of my old keyboard. Hold on, let me grab it as well. I knocked something. Of course, I knocked my new headphones off my desk. That's great. Old keyboard as of last stream, which it's loud. And whatnot, and also like this is a cheaper keyboard, and yeah, one I've just, it's a Dell keyboard. How many years have I had this one? A lot. Hold on. Yeah. Wow. So I literally just went like, okay, give me another, like this one. I don't remember how much this cost, but it wasn't too expensive. But it's just keyboard that be quieter. It also happens to be wireless, which doesn't affect things that much, but sure, why not? So I was interested in the microphone, and then got other things on, like, I think basically everything I got was on at least some kind of a sale, so yeah. Hold on, let me just make sure things adjust. So yeah, just upgrading stuff with my stream, and yeah, so that's cool and all. Hopefully just making things sound better. Still using the same old webcam. I'm not quite happy with my webcam as it currently is. If I go full screen, oh, not there, there. Aha. It's very subtle. I don't know if the stream can pick it up, but there's this slight flickering, very, very slight flickering and very, very slight noise. I don't like, but getting a new webcam or upgrading to like a full-on like camera, that gets way, way more expensive. So I'm not doing that anytime soon. And then there's also lighting. I know that my current lighting situation is not great. I moved a couple months ago. I do think it was actually slightly better at my old place. Mainly the old place had like pure white walls and whatnot. But yeah, that's something I'll figure out eventually. I've even considered moving, like, if I just move my desk to a different place in my room, could I, better just have the lights that I'm working with, have that be better? I don't know. For some reason, I don't exactly know why it's like this, just my room as it currently is has just this weird situations where it's wall. You know how normal rooms are a rectangle as far as the wall situation goes? My room is a rectangle, except for just this wall. It goes, it just has, it bends in and then out for some reason. No idea why, but when I saw this, I'm like, let me try to have, I don't know, this area be background of desk to stream or whatever, because it might look interesting, but in hindsight, I'm like, maybe not. But it does have two white lights right above me, which has some amount of lighting or whatever. Anyways, though, yeah, stuff to potentially be figured out more of at a future point in time, but it's a process. This will also, microphone also be good because, for my YouTube stuff as well. Like, both for streaming, that's also good to have better microphone things, but then also for when I make more YouTube video stuff, just being higher quality and whatnot. And then I don't know if, so like, one thing I was conscious of when I was setting up settings with this microphone, dynamic microphones are meant to, like, just pick up audio, like, basically right in front of the microphone, you're talking directly into it, and then not pick up much else around it. Well, that might be good for if I'm doing, proper, like, YouTube stuff or whatever. With this one, I also, for the sake of streaming, I did want an amount of, like, picking me up when I'm over here and not being very, very, very quiet, because I want to be able to move around while I'm in the middle of streaming or playing games or whatever, and not have that be an issue where people can't hear me. So, but yeah. So I might continue to mess around more with settings and whatnot. It was took a lot to just get it where it currently is, but I think it sounded good enough for now, so yeah, hopefully that continues doing the game. I can tell that I'm looking at the audio levels. I can tell that I'm not muted at the very least, and that it's not peaking to red all the time. It's being around the levels that it's supposed to be, which is basically in this orange. Yeah, which is like, yeah, good enough. Just keep moving it around though. What else? Oh, I got a haircut, I guess, but that's not, that's not related to my stream technology or whatever. I don't know. Anyways, so this is gonna be a short stream. I think it's like 10 o'clock. Yeah, started late because it's just busy weekend. Partially with just setting up all this stuff. Not so much the headphones, more the microphone and everything that went along with that. Had lots and lots of fun technical issues with that, but got there in the end, I guess. Speaking of technical issues, this and this, I did put in the stream there probably. Yeah. So yeah, continuing my sort of cycle of streams that I've been doing, and I currently plan to continue to do, where it's like stream of, well, in any random order, stream of working on the Handyman with Unicycle, this game, stream of working on my background animation down there, and then stream of playing a game. Currently we're doing Pac-Man World 1, the remake, that yeah, it's a game. It's good. Definitely not like a super amazing spectacular 10 out of 10 game, but it was made in Unity, so it gets bonus points for me, and it's all right. We're going through it. I imagine I'll see it through and 100% it and whatnot. Yeah, so currently today we are doing a bit of work on this thing, this stream background animation thingy mabob. And yeah, so gotta figure out exactly, well, I was about to say I gotta figure out exactly what I'm doing. I have a rough plan of what I'm doing, and a thing that I don't think will take that long, and then if we finish that, then I gotta figure out what I'm doing next. So, as a quick recap of my plans for this. So one is just down there in the stream. So even down here, so down here where chat is, I have just this slow, like, growing circles thing. It looks cool, yeah. But the main cool thing is way down there. That's currently a bunch of cubes just moving around and whatnot, which is not the end idea of what I want that to be. That was just more a bit temporary while it's still very much in this construction kind of stage. The idea is, well, to go back to it only being one cube running around, but this one cube running around in a way more interesting environment. And then even having the cube itself have a lot more interesting stuff going on with, like, the way that it moves. It'd be cool if it kind of like hops around or whatever. So currently we have this cube it's also on a very flat plane. I want a more interesting environment and stuff. Ups, downs, and all arounds, and yeah. Now, if I want a big-ish environment, that is difficult when the camera stays still. Then I only have, you know, from here to here to work with to make, you know, a environment. So I've decided that I want the camera to move. I want to try it at least, see how it goes. If it ends up looking terrible, then we can bail on it. But current idea for now is I want to try to have the camera not just like pan left and right. It could be just as simple as, you know, panning around, but I want to see if I can try taking where the cube is, taking the cube and taking where it's currently going, the place it's trying to go. Or right now also they wander around, like, they don't, there's no visual stuff with their where those cubes are going. I want to change that. I want, like, a thing to spawn, like a collectible kind of thing, and the cube runs towards that, gets it, and then a new one spawns and they're moving towards that. So when there's visual on what the cube's going to, I want both the cube and the collectible to both be in frame at all times, where it's like, if they're across the map, the camera zooms out a lot, so you see both of them, and then as the cube gets closer, it like zooms in, and then it gets it, and then a new one spawns and it zooms out again. I think that's what I want to try doing. Also, I don't have anti-aliasing on. Maybe I should, or maybe not. Maybe that messes the thing. I'll come back to it. This environment as well will not just be this. It's gonna be a lot more than this. This just is in, like, the earliest stages possible of this thing. Okay, so initially when I pitched, because as I said, I'm giving a recap. I gave the same spiel in, like, the last time we were working on this. With the camera, my initial idea was to make it, you know, from scratch myself through code or whatever. However, so I'm aware of a thing called Cinema Machine, however, whatever, yeah. That is a Unity fancy camera setup thing. I discovered that it has potentially as a built-in thing to be able to kind of do the movement that I have described. So because of that, I want to potentially try messing around with this thing that I've never used. Well, like I think I've dabbled in Sim Machine stuff the tiniest amount, but usually I'd rather go the route of making everything super manually or whatever. But in like a smaller scale thing like this, at least the camera being more smaller scale, I think it's a good place to try it out and see how it can help me. I've then also considered whether I want to try incorporating Sim Machine camera stuff into Hey with Unicycle. Part of the problem with that, though, is that the camera needs to be so much more complicated for this game that I don't know how much help I can get out of that, or like whether it would be worth doing or not. But you know, I mean, part of it is just that I'm not familiar with much with Sim Machine. It's something I've never used before. If it was something I was more experienced with, then it might be an easier decision. Be like, yeah, I might as well just use it and do X, Y, Z or whatever, rather than try to do everything manually. But we'll see. As you can see, Hey with Unicycle is still in very, very rough, jittery states. Did I mention? I forgot. So, between the last time that I was working on this game on, let me try that again. Between the last time I was working on this game on stream versus now, I did make some changes off stream, but I believe I talked about those at the beginning of the stream where we were playing Pac-Man World. In case there's stuff I missed, I'll give like the tiniest bit of what I want to say is that I upped the physics frame rate by default in Unity, fixed update, and thus like how often physics stuff calculates is defaulted to about 50 frames per second. Not about, it's exactly 50 frames per second. I upped that to 75 if it can handle it. Because this is a very physics-y based game, and just having a higher physics frame rate, like, I think would be good. To have just cool, smoother, just higher frame rate physics, because like so much of in the player's movement and a lot of stuff that in this game are gonna rely on physics. So yeah, might as well. And then when I did that, everything with the physics player stuff as it was broke massively, and that's because a lot of the player movement stuff wasn't frame rate independent, which is not normally something you have to worry about with physics. But when you change the physics frame rate, then you do. So I also did more messing around to make the physics all frame rate independent. So now if I did it right, if I hypothetically change the physics time step again, then the movement should still be the same and should still be consistent. So yeah, that's stuff that I did. So the movement's a bit different now than it was the last time I was working on a stream, but it came with that benefit, the higher frame rate and being consistent. So the next stream where I am working on this game, which will in theory be tomorrow, I'm still figuring out what exactly I'm going to do with this, because currently this game is having some trouble. You may notice as I'm moving around, everything's like being very jittery and broken. I'm aware of this, and it's currently, in the works that I'm trying to fix this, but I'm currently a little stuck as to how to fix the specific problems that I'm having, which is unfortunate because certain things of what I'm trying to do with this player are a bit more abnormal and unorthodox or whatever, so it's being very hard to like find or like Google stuff. Whenever you Google anything to do with making like third person players like for platformers or third person following cameras, you always get the tutorials that are the most basic, like make a camera follow player in like 4 minutes. And it's just like, oh, just have a camera pivot, parent the camera to the player, and then whoop-de-doo, or like have a camera pivot as I had mine set up before, and then it orbits like the dog, very cool, and everything just assumes that you're kind of walking on flat ground or very mild slopes, which is fine for like 90% of games, but in my game, the whole fact that I have the camera do this, you go up a surface and camera turn with you, this has just made so many things so much more complicated to Yeah, because then I also, with the camera, no, not that, over there, or over this, the number of like nested game objects that are controlling all the different parts of this camera pivot, slope pivot, horizontal pivot, then this input forward thing, and then vertical pivot, and there's a reason why these two are separate and not part of the same script. And then camera ideal position, that then the actual main camera then goes to, and then there's also this does zooming stuff as well. It's a lot of steps, it does a lot of things, and it's complicated. The main thing, though, that's having the issue is the actual, the slope pivot. That doing stuff wrong is what's causing the camera to do this, where it freaks out when I go from being on a slope to then being free-falling. Which, yeah, is not good, exactly. And I don't quite know... I have partial reasons as to why it's doing what it's doing, but I don't have our solutions. So, yeah, that's being tricky. So that's yeah. Well, okay, this isn't what we're doing this stream. I was getting to we're not doing this stream, we're working on the other thing, but this is stuff that I'm figuring out. And because I'm still figuring out how to solve this, and then another problem that's based on the same fundamental issue, and that, see how the player currently is facing this way? This isn't supposed to happen. Because I haven't done player turning stuff yet, the player should, at the moment, the way things are supposed to be coded, always face that way. As I'm moving around, always face that way. I go off a slight slope, face that way. I do this, basically facing that way, but slightly turned down, I guess. But when I go in midair, then I have this thing going on where, like, the player's wheel sort of turns in the direction of the way you're going, which that's supposed to happen, but then the player isn't facing forward anymore, and that's going to cause further additional issues, because what I want to set up this player is have the parent game object of the player face forward, and then to actually do player rotation, I have this unicycle pivot. I want to turn this so that all the turning is all purely visual, so it can be done through like animation and whatnot, because and this was a thing in the old player before I tore it apart and reconstructing it as it is now. I want it to be a thing where if the player's moving forward, like, you're moving forward, but if you start moving backwards and having, because it's a unicycle, having just lean backwards and start pedaling backwards. I want him to be able to sort of go both ways just because it's cool. And I mean, that's how it was set up before. So, like, that was the thing we previously had working before all of the slope stuff made everything all complicated and not work. So I need, this parent is supposed to basically never turn other than 4 slopes, and then we have the child thing that just rotates for visual sake. Yeah, so if the parent thing is offset, then the child thing is going to be offset, and that's going to cause issues. Yeah, but the reason that this is off, like, is now wrong, it's the same issue that's causing both the player to be turned the wrong way and the camera to freak out when I go from slopes to midair. So anyways, but that's stuff that we're gonna figure out eventually. If I don't have a good idea for a solution by the next time, by tomorrow's stream when I'm doing this, then what I'm thinking I'll do is during the stream, do some streams where I'm doing some stuff we're not working on that particular problem, do other aspects of getting the player working, maybe even getting the player to function again in the other scenes. If I'm in this scene and I go into play mode, everything errors and breaks, and the hub world is fusing with the level, and I can't move because problems. Because just, yeah, things, when we remade the player, everything, a lot of things just broke. So I couldn't, even if the player isn't fully functional in terms of the jitteriness of them moving around, I should still be able to fix this. The only reason that this is broken is because there's some objects on, like, the hub world manager thing that expects some scripts to be on the player that were on the old player but is not on the new one. So I just have to add some of that stuff back, and then I think it should all figure itself out. Like, I don't think this will be, in theory, I don't think it's going to take that long to fix that error. I could definitely be very wrong. So maybe, I think next stream that I'm working on this game, let me also apply a prefab because that's something I should do. Make sure I'm applying the correct things. Yeah. So that's something I might do in next stream because that's going to be easier to just, like, it's something I can actually do rather than sitting humming and hawing over trying to figure out a solution to these camera problems. So I'm probably going to save just Googling stuff about that, trying to figure out a potential solution off stream. And we'll see. Well, I don't know. We'll see. I might, if I can't figure out, so part of the, in terms of me trying to figure out how to solve this problem, there's both the solution of like taking just the code I have now and tweaking some small things with it, and then boom, having it work. If I can just figure out what those things are. Or a solution might need to be that I need to sort of just think about this problem in a different way, implement some stuff in a completely different way, where I come out the other side and everything works better. For example, like this whole setup I have of all these bits of the camera that are parented under each other for different purposes, like changing stuff with that, maybe. And then also the thing I said of like, oh, the player, have the parent thing always face forward so that it's the child thing that rotates. I've considered of maybe, if I can't fix this, then maybe not doing that and actually then changing the player stuff. So yeah, the parent thing does turn the way that you're moving, which doesn't matter for the collider because the collider is like symmetrical, like whether it, you know, it turns or not. So that's why the collision doesn't matter. It's purely visual stuff. And then if I want the player to be able to pedal backwards, then like if they're moving this way, then I only have to worry about this being turned 180 potentially, but like I don't know if that'll look as good. We'll see. But that's like an option of something I've thought about and considered in case I can't figure out this other stuff. I also know, oh, the tight ropes, right. This ground check thing is not currently being used at all. This was stuff being used by the old player move stuff, which maybe that I should reroute it, the ground check stuff through that again, because right now the current ground check stuff just shoots straight downwards, which isn't as good as the ground check thing happening through all around, so that if I'm slightly on the edge of something, it can still get picked up that I'm on the ground. We'll see. That's all stuff to be figured out. Yeah, and then just general jitteriness in general. I do see that if I am just moving forward and back on flat ground, there's a bit of jitteriness with the camera, and I gotta figure out exactly what's causing that. That's its whole own issues, and I think that is partially related to all these things parented under each other, and that I have better ideas for how to fix. Do some amount of cleanup to all these objects to get that to be better. But anyways, I said, oh, how we are half an hour into this, and I said this is not what we're doing in this stream. I'm just rambling about camera stuff because I can. What I want to be doing is working on this and the camera that we're going to be doing in this. That's going to be a million times simpler because we don't have to worry about it turning to go up walls and whatnot. Okay, so I have never properly used a Cinema Machine camera. I know from some minor Googling that I've done with this that you have to have like the Cinema Machine brain, and then you set up all these virtual cameras. That's basically, it's like, oh, here's where a camera could be, and over here's where a camera could be, and then you have the real camera that then, oh, move to that one, move to that place, move to that place, and stuff like that. So I know some of that, that's just a thing, but I've never actually, yeah, I haven't actually used it before. So we're gonna see if I can figure out stuff. For my brief Googling before the stream, we're gonna see if now I can implement some stuff actually starting. I immediately though don't remember live camera, so I need a, actually before I do that, I believe I can just save me a few steps by doing this. So dolly camera, virtual camera, but yeah, it having some defaults can potentially save me some time. So what's the difference between, so oh no, yeah, this could potentially mess with the angle, but not that it shouldn't matter that much. We're gonna try, the brain goes, it put the brain on that. Okay, sure, you do that. What I wanted to do, so I don't know why it's doing that, but wow, why is it looking weirder? It's looking different, but I was expecting like the camera part of the camera to look effectively the same, but I mean, sure, if it can come out the other side looking better, then yeah, why not, I guess. Oh wait, did I have the field of view as maybe a field of, partially field of view thing? I just want to double check. I had the field of view at 30 and it changed that, so let me just oh, now you are 40. Okay, sure. What changes that? That's here. Oh boy. Presets. Yeah, okay, sure. Yeah, again, all of this is gonna be stuff that's gonna be messed with and changed a bunch and blah 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 blah. And okay, sorry, one other thing that might help just get this back to just being at like starting at the same kind of thing is would be to just copy this component and then go forward in time and then paste it on this guy. Okay. So yeah, boom. There we go. Ta-da, problem solved. Looks similar. Whoa, I don't want that. Okay. So, yeah, there's different, like, defaults, essentially. Their body and aim. Yeah. I don't remember which one it was, but I remember just seeing that there was a default that essentially... Oh. I already forget how to... I might have to relook up what I googled. There's some default stuff that's like, oh, follow these two things and keep them both in frame. I'm going to start by actually... Whoa. Having two players as an example. Well, it's going to be a player and a collectible type thing. You know, because of that, let me just... you're going to be a sphere for now. Well, so I think for a first stage of this, I might just be like, oh, it's a generic, like, coin-looking thing. And then eventually, because Christmas is coming up, I want to make kind of wintry sort of environment, so then I might turn it into, like, gifts. We'll see. So, but for now, it's just going to be generically called collectible, so that I don't have to rename it if I just change what the visual of it is. So, okay. Can I get the camera to basically be like, hey, keep these two things in frame? So, well, if I go follow, let me, okay, too many things that don't need to be here. Let me put nav mesh under environment. It's not a graphical part of the environment, but it's environment related. I don't need an event system at all. There's nothing in this where I'm going to be pressing buttons. I'm going to delete that now. Do I have to bring it back later? Then I will. This canvas, this canvas was a temporary thing to just show, back when the animation, instead of being a rectangle, it was a full 16:9 thing. I had a black box where, like, the desktop was going to be. So I don't need that. That was a temporary thing. Also, this overlay camera was also a separate way of implementing that same idea. Yeah, where I had these, like, placeholder things. Yeah, so that can also go. Just, might as well clean up some of this stuff. Block generator, also a thing that can go. That's part of an old animation that we had here of, like, a conveyor belt with cubes going down. That's also, that object is in another scene, so that also should be fine. This thing forces the camera size, or forces the size to be that when I make it into a build. Whatever. Okay. Just, okay. Move the camera down here. Just camera and virtual camera together temporarily, and whatever. It's fine. Okay, so what things do I need on what and where? World up override? Oh, world up. Oh. Oh. Huh. Interesting that, so, okay, one thing of why I've never, I didn't consider using the Cinema Machine stuff in my unicycle thing is that I always, like, anything ever I see in Cinema Machine stuff where, oh, it has all these automatic things, it's always pointing straight up, and I have a camera that, like, most of what it does is turning and whatnot. Turning in complicated ways to be upside down. The fact that there's a world up thing, interesting. Maybe that is something I can mess around with later. I don't need to right now for this specifically, but okay. Say, yeah, the thing you're following is a player. Although, so how do I? And then we'll say, so the look at was going to be just look generically forward, but let's just for funsies to play around with this, say look at the player as well. Look at him moving around. This, so yeah, I know this can make it, you know, turn sideways, but that's different than being like the player went down a slope, look down at them, look up, and to the point of being fully upside down. Okay, aim, interesting. All right, this being a thing, yeah, this automatic stuff is great. Like, you know, looking at stuff if it's on screen, and yeah. Oh, also this, a save during play. You know, actually, I saw this was being a thing, which is pretty nice of being able to just, hey, I can mess around with these settings now and have stuff get. Oh, why are you doing that to that degree? Oh, was aim hard look at? Right, let's Oh no. What's composer? Look. Why are you doing that to that degree? I want what I wanted was okay. No, so okay. As I said, I don't actually want it to aim at the thing for now. So maybe we'll not worry about that. Do nothing. Because I actually wanted to keep its rotation, but zoom out and zoom in. Maybe pan up and down a little bit, but for now, we'll see how I potentially change stuff. But oh boy, those are things. However, I'm not finding yeah, the third person follow. That's a common thing, but not what I want. Framing transposer. Hard lock the target. That's being on it. Orbital transposer. Tracked dolly. A path. Okay, so paths. That's also not a thing that I want in this particular case. Frame transposer, that's what I just had a second ago, right? And it did funky things? No. Or, well, maybe it did when I had the aim part of it on. And yeah, I can have noise, have it, wow. Which also, not something I want at the moment. Okay, so let me just to mess with stuff. Orbital transposer, what does that do? Oh. Don't like that. Okay, bleh. So then I can mess with, okay, how far away can you get? Even though, okay, so if I want you to follow two things, I'm going to take a wild guess in the dark as to how you do this. I just saw that it could track multiple things at once. I didn't actually see how you do that specifically. And we'll see at what point I have to Google stuff. If I just put these under, under thing, and then I say, hey, camera, this is your follow target, will you... Hold on, actually, yeah. Is there any chance that it'll be like, oh, follow everything that's underneath these? That's a little bit restrictive that, like, if I needed two things to not be parented under certain things, like I have a player and a bunch of enemies and, like, oh, this specific level thing that's buried under environment, if I want to be like, follow all of that stuff, keep all that in frame, that's a little unfortunate if I have to, it can only be like, oh, one thing and just things underneath. Although maybe there's other ways to get around it, that's just, yeah. Oh. Or I'm incorrect and, Then also, yeah, there's the brain here that I haven't looked at, the update stuff, events, and yeah, you can have different things that it goes between, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Might need to do, I know what round robin is. That is like, the more virtual cameras there are, it'll update at a lower frame rate because performance and stuff. Lens, that's, oh, yeah. Target group. Ooh, that would do it. Okay. Okay. I see. Okay, let me go out of play mode before stuff gets undone. Okay, so I don't need these to be underneath those. Good. Okay, that is better. Well, I can put this on here, right? Was it? Well, what were you called? Put a thing in here, and then this. Let me go convert to target group. You make that as a separate thing. Fine with me, I guess. So I started to search target, and it didn't come up. Why? And you have weights as to how much you matter. Okay, cool. Group center, group average, I imagine that makes differences, but I don't care about how much. Now, in theory, this should, like, well, I don't know how much it should be a perfect 50-50 versus, like, whoa, okay, the fact that the field of view is changing, is it not? I don't know if I actually want it to be, but just neat that it did that in the first place. So now what can I mess with as far as this goes? Why are you... Is it changing the field of view? It looks like it is, but maybe I'm crazy. Look at the camera here. What? Oh no, it is. Okay, I'm not crazy. Default blend. Yeah, you're doing stuff. Custom. Blah blah. Doesn't look like anything there is what's gonna help me. So something is changing that field of view. Like what's doing that? I would think that it would be on here, but I guess not. Okay. So it's also, a bit of this is going to be funky because it's squished and wide and something it maybe doesn't know quite how to handle. Whoa, oh no. I'd like to undo all of whatever I just did. Oh no. Good, let me fix my mistakes. So tracked object offset, okay. Okay. First of all, this. Why does that not change? Okay. Oh, minimum FOV, maximum FOV. Okay. So if I wanted to say, force you to always be 30 as an example, which I don't even know if 30 is what should be here. That's just an example. What aim as follow target with follow target being a target group? What is that gonna do? Oh boy. Oh no. Mildly cool, but not something I want, nor based on current settings, not something I have a good amount of control over, so no. Go back to nothing just for now. And no noise as well. For now. So, group framing size. This is like what? How in frame things would be. Let me just temporarily just turn off the player moving and just be like, let me just figure this out when they're that far apart. Back to camera. Okay. Where was I? Over here at her body. Yep. Things. What is framing transposer versus transposer? Is that just... Okay. Keep them in, but with some amount of opposites. Orbital transposer does something. But I think the framing one is probably more what I want. If I had to guess, look ahead time. It can like, I guess, overshoot stuff, yeah. Oh boy. Dead zone width. This can be like, oh, as if the thing only moves a little bit, it doesn't move or whatever. Gee. Make that more, I guess, square like, I don't know. Put it in, something like that. Bias, so that's just, yeah, no. Center on activate. Oh, that's whether it should immediately, yeah, snap to being the center of where it's going, I guess. Adjustment. Zoom only, dolly then zoom. Yes. Well, I want to try dolly first, and then yeah. Okay. Framing size. Whoa. Okay. I also wait. Turn you down. You're meant to kind of. Yeah, I wanted you to be on an angle. Yeah. Okay. Figuring this out, messing around. It's having neat results. I mean, it's a little weird that it's only like a kind of thing. But that's all right. Making it work. I can have, okay, yeah, distance max up. If I turn you up, yeah, but do you start? Yeah, you have. What's the difference between max distance versus group framing size? What do you do differently? And what part do you start moving out? Or no, it's when you go down? Oh. Okay. Come on. Okay, let's say we do that. I did say that I want... Well, if I'm to... Yeah, I'm gonna turn with more stuff. the player should, yeah, get a higher weight ish, but not that much. Why does 2 feel like it's doing anything? Radius, does that make the player like have a higher, like, how much it matters? Supposed to go, I don't know, 2? I'm gonna have to redo those changes in a second, which I'm fine doing, I guess. Okay. This soft weight zone, that's like, okay. Oh, this is, okay, this is, yeah, where you, but that's not the center though, but okay. Well, okay, but if I, this is like, okay, so I partially get it. This is like, oh, if the center only moves between here and here, don't move at all, then that's fine. This is like, oh, between here it starts to move faster. And it's like, don't you dare go beyond this point. If the objects are beyond here, then you move immediately. That's how you work, okay. Getting that. So I don't know, bring these in well, I'd be fine with them getting decently far apart, I think. And even the height, like, yeah, the height can get pretty close to the end, I think. And then dead zone height. No, let's just try stuff. Try things. So this would be it. Yeah, so this would not be what I'd want. This is like, it's not going to move unless the player gets real far away. I want to see it happen. Yeah, so like, no. I was just curious to test that. Oh. Wait, what's the difference between those and then what's camera distance relative to that? I have no idea. But I want this in because I actually want it to move pretty much all the time. Okay, but now so the next thing I would like, if I can, is I would like the camera to actually move in, get closer to get everything in frame, rather than just move left to right if I can. I mean, it's set to dolly then zoom, but well, okay, well, we can try. Actually, zooming might actually be, well, oh wait, sorry, zooming is messing with position. Yeah, it is. Never mind. Why does it have to be? Why is there not zoom then dolly? First, I thought zoom would be potentially messing with the. Or no, it is changing the Z though. I don't know to what degree zoom decides that it's zooming in versus messing with the position. Oh no, I get it. It takes the player and the collectible in the middle. It'll zoom, or sorry, it'll move forward to be that. If the player moves back here or the player moves forward, it's gonna match the middle there. The zooming is just for the distance, which isn't quite how I want it, but it actually might be better because then the camera won't go through the floor potentially. So maybe that would be. Okay, so let's mess with this. Hey, how'd you get her to frame though? What? That I thought the whole thing was that this wasn't allowed. You hit the red though. How does that handle that? I don't understand. Group framing mode. What is this? I guess as to what this would do, and is this it? Oh, it's only gonna move left and right, but like, what's horizontal do? What do you mean? I think I want it on both. Because the right now it's all just a flat floor, but eventually there'll be ups and downs. I want it to be able to work with that. So my current question is, why is that sphere able to get out of frame? I thought the stuff I had set up was supposed to not allow that to happen. If I put all the weights back to 1, is that gonna now sort of fix it? I kind of want, I was hoping that this, you know, weight of the player being 2 means the player gets more priority, but still keep them both in frame. What if I have the weight of the player being 1, but the radius being 2? I'm gonna, I think, turn off this once the player gets really far away. Oh, right. I'd have to turn off the nav mesh for that. Okay, hold on. Okay, get far away. And then I'll turn you off and then mess with you some more. Whoa. Excuse me? Why would turning off the nav mesh do that? The camera's moving back so much. This probably ain't good for it. Why? Why are you doing this? Why? Wait, I don't understand. I just turned off a nav mesh. Why would it? Oh! Oh, the player is spazzing out. That's why. Wait, what? Okay, so the camera's fine. It's the player. Why did the player decide that was the best course of action? Make it rid of body kinematic, I guess. I don't know. Jeez. Okay. Be above the floor. Yeah, go over here, be far away, and now let me mess with the camera. So the camera was fine. Okay. Yikes. Virtual cam. So, as I said, so currently the FOV is 30, which should it be? Should it be more, but then just more zoomed in? Well, if I go to, like, let's say I have a cap of 50 and then max of 100 for some reason, and I say that right now they're so far away that you should be using the 100 and not the 50 you're currently using. Can I do anything to get that to happen? Why does that accomplish that? So, like, also, right now, the fact that, like, this sphere is looking that squished, I would like that to not be happening. It's like at this, yeah, at a FOV of, like, whoa, like 30, then it's looking fine. So I think this needs to say that it's around 30 to 40 or whatever, but I don't know. How can I say? Oh, okay, yeah, that should be. What does group framing size do? Let me go to playing with these things. When I'm out of playing with, sometimes hovering over these, yeah. The bounding box of the target should occupy this amount of screen space. One means fill the whole screen. Ah, okay. So the bounding box of the player and the thing to take up the whole screen or half the screen. So okay, and then so that shouldn't really be more than one. All right, well, you get rid of this. So if I say 1, then you're attempting to basically be the whole screen. If I say 0.5, then you're attempting to be at half and half. Okay, makes sense. 0.1, then you're trying to take up, yeah. If I say 2, then you're gonna go off screen. Okay, that makes sense. So that should, I'm gonna for now say that it's 1. 0.8, I guess. So that makes sense. Framing mode. What does this specifically mean? What constraining dimensions to consider when framing can be horizontal, vertical, or both? So yeah, that's okay. Just take one or the other. Sure. How does the camera to get the desired framing? You can zoom, dolly in and out, or do both. Sure. I've not used any of these other. Target movement only. The camera rotation turns out to get an instant response. Okay. I don't know. What is this camera distance versus the other things? The distance along camera axis that will be maintained from the followed target. Why can't this is the thing I would like to vary. Its own depth. Will not move along the within the distance of the specified camera camera distance. Okay, so if having forward, back, and not mess with stuff. Okay, time. Tell the composer to adjust its target offset based on the motion of its target. The composer will look at a point where estimates the target will be this many seconds in the future, and this setting is sensitive to noisy animation. Can't amplify the noise. So I'd say, I guess, I don't know, try having something on a little bit. Why not? Look at moving? Sure, why not? Look at ignore Y. Yeah, keep the Y in there. Damn thing. How aggressively the camera tries to maintain the offset in the x-axis. Small numbers are more responsive, rapidly translating the camera to keep its target. Large numbers just okay. Sure. Okay. Back in. So again, this. What? I thought this was that you'd make it do further apart. Unless that's what happens when this is off. Okay. I guess. Fine then. Let me go out, and then I also wanted this to be at a negative, well, no, like a positive 10 or so. Angle down a little bit. So let's get that cube moving again. Go out of play mode to do that because it actually goes consistently or whatever. Okay. There. This isn't quite doing what I would like, but it's maybe progress. And this is like part of the issue with, using Cinema Machine rather than programming my own camera. Has its benefits of, plug and play a little bit, but there's certain specific things I would like to do that I potentially can't do. Why do you go off of that? What does that do versus, oh, whoops. Wait. I thought this was, what is this thing? Why, or you're not gonna zoom unless, were you zooming though? Okay. Yeah, do that. But then what happens if this is set to zoom only? You do dolly, so... Wait, am I thinking what dolly is wrong? Oh, is dolly to move a camera forward? I know there's different movements that mean different things. I knew that dolly was like move along a straight axis, but I wasn't sure. I'm not sure if it's left to right or if it's forward back. Results inconclusive. Wait, no, is it left to right? Is it dolly left to right? And then is if I set you to dolly only. Oh, then, is that moving back, forward and backwards? Because that's what I want. There we go. Okay, that's more of what I want. Okay, it is possible. And then what's camera distance do? Or is that overridden when I have this stuff on? Okay. And then I can have a maximum. Well, if this is tiny thing, if this has minimum distance 0, then shouldn't it be too zoomed in and be right on top of them? Unless that's the camera distance comes into play. I'm sure. Yeah, those don't matter quite so much. Yeah. Okay. It's progress. It is progress. Just deciding, like, I don't know, what else would I potentially want to mess with. This is if I want there to be no so-called danger zone. I probably do because I don't want this stuff to actually go off screen. Although, all this stuff is going to be moving very slowly, so I don't know how much it really matters. Okay, max dolly in, max dolly out. These numbers, 5,000. What does that mean? If I put these to 0, what does that accomplish? Is how far are you allowed to... But max dolly, what does max dolly in mean? What is it max? Okay, let me go. You go out so that I can read the numbers. Maximum distance away from the target that the behavior is allowed to move the camera. Makes sense. Maximum distance towards the target that this behavior is allowed to move the camera. So is that distance based on this? Like it's like an offset? In which case, go nuts, go as far as you want. I guess that would be my guesses. Okay. Sure. It's something. And I can then turn off. This is what, you know, what it's actually looking like. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Okay, I think, you know, decent start or whatever. I think it'll be easier to tell when we have more stuff going on, even just when the ground isn't perfectly flat. So I'd say this is a decent start, cool, good, and yeah, faster setting it up through that rather than faster to set it up through that rather than having tried to code all of that completely from scratch or whatever. So good job, Sim Machine. Now this, the target group, I can't exactly parent that under stuff that'll mess with things. Yeah. So also, yeah. So I have. I'm gonna, I guess, put, I don't know, camera stuff. Camera tech, let's go fancy. All of our camera-related tech in here, I don't know. So it's gonna be a virtual camera, main camera, and target group. It'll all be under there, I guess, just to tuck things away. You know, technically, forced screen size is something related to the screen dimension, so I'm gonna bury that under there as well. So, then we have the player and our so-called collectible thingy that exists. And you know what? For funsies, let's make it look like a coin. I think I could whip something on Blender, but I think I could just quickly take like two not capsules, take two cylinders and make a coin, just real quick. Even though I think in the long term it's not going to be a coin, but it works to get the point across. For now, let me get rid of the actual visual bit of this. This. You know, we're gonna keep the sphere collider for it to be a trigger collider, and then make it, you know, bigger. So then, you know, player goes in range of that, and then they'll get the thing. Give this. I have these basic colors here. Give it a yellow, and then. Actually, so I want to keep these basic colors untouched in terms of changing their shade or whatever. I think this coin I might make below or whatever. So I'm gonna quickly over in here. Up in material, it's gonna be I'll call this coin, whatever. Go back to here and here. You know, need that. And then below, I guess. Ooh, that's kind of cool to be that color. Yeah, sure, why not? I guess go for it. That shininess isn't doing a whole lot. But okay. And then that's not all. I'm gonna. Oh, actually, wait. Maybe. Oh, right. I can't exactly easily like inset unless I want to whip out Blender, which not right now. It's fine. I make something that's like good enough. Whoa. This looks like a Lego stud thing. But you know what? Whatever. It. And then, like, just doing a little bit of, I don't know, something just kind of, yeah. Or replace this with, like, a cube and see, like, if it looks good, if I do, I don't know. I'm just making something random out of placeholder stuff real quick. There's some weird temporary thing. Make that spin, that's totally a cool. Okay, I guess the camera's decent enough for now. How much time I got? I got a little bit more time, so let's see if we can whip up an actual collectible to work. I also, okay, I'm thinking that, so as some placeholder stuff, I put the cube with this material thing that I had set up for before. I'm not sure I want it. I kind of potentially want to try just going back to like a default kind of cube. Let's maybe make it blah. And then, I'll be green for now for some reason. And then model-wise, I think eventually I'll make it more of like a beveled cube. And you know what? Give it a slight bit of... It looks good to have this slight bit of... Oh, yeah. Environment as well. Because I also, again, long term, I don't want this grid texture thing here. I want a, like, snowy landscape of whatever, however good that ends up looking. Something just as a temporary thing. Because it's, right now even, this grid thing does not do well when there's so few pixels, so. Oh, I do have that. Let me just see without it for 2 seconds. And even color-wise, like, I don't know what this is going to be. Actually, let's just try going all the way to blah, and then the same strategy 3 times. Interesting how I lose the fact that there's a back wall. Something like that. I basically took away all the detail, but just something super simple, just temporary, just test stuff. Rather than having. If I want like little bumps in the road, if I did that through like, I don't know. Well, no, then I'm just gonna be making another grid. I don't know. Okay, I'll come back to this, but here, this. Let's try more. I don't know. Could also be more like because. I wanted like a snowy area, but then also like a wooden kind of thing going on for like an interior. I'll go with that. I don't know. Something looks interesting about that. Again, the visuals do not matter that much right now. Should be caring more about the actual programming of stuff. But yeah. Okay. So wandering cube. So rather than wandering toward random spots, there should be some system that spawns a collectible somewhere in the map. It might come in with a fancy animation. It'll need to be added to that camera stack thing, so that it. Well, okay, sorry. Let me back up 2 seconds. Rather than spawning and deleting a collectible, the proper thing to do would be to just have the one and have it just move around the map, because if there's only going to ever be one, and then if there's 2, then have 2 that go around. All right, like I don't need to spawn and destroy. It can just, yeah, use why am I forgetting? Object pooling, but with only one object in this case. So I'm just trying to think, is there any situation where I'd actually want to be like, well, this one having some animation being collected, have the other one already start to spawn? I could have that if I wanted to, but I'm going to assume that I'm not going to do that for right now, and if I find that I do, then I can deal with it then. Should be fine. Okay, so, making this happen. First, well, let's... Okay, I'm going to do the least important part first, just for visual flair. I want to get get this thing to spin, because spinning will be super easy and take 2 seconds. Thing called spin, just go transform dot rotate. Nope, there's a transform dot rotate function. Rotate vector 3 dot up times 10 times time dot delta time, and then actually let's make it a speed. Spend the 2 extra seconds to just go public float speed and equals like 10 or something. I don't know what speed is going to be good, and stick that in there. You don't need to be anything on start, and then good. Yeah. Tempted to make like a hovering up and down thing as well, but for now we're not going to worry about it. Collectibles. Well, do I care about... It's going to be symmetrical, so the parent thing spinning as well should be fine. No, it's the right way real quick. Just go... collectible model or whatever, and then put these under this, because then I can have the model do the spinning. Already had a spin physics thing. Whoops. Oh wait, that's what the conveyor things use, the gears, but this doesn't need to turn with physics. Yeah, fine. That's not fast enough. Hold on. Collectible model spin go negative 100. So also I want it to spin the other way, just because. And go. It works. It does. Oh, never mind. I was like, why is it moving? That's just the camera. It's doing its job. Okay, cool. Why is it? Did you get a? What happened with your? Oh, you have capsule colliders all the way in. That's what that is. I was confused. Okay, so collectible. We're gonna give it the tag collectible because it makes sense that that's how we're gonna collectible it. Collectible. I think it's fine. Collectible. Okay. I have. Oh, this does not need to be open. And then I have this. Okay, so don't need that spin, that can not be touched. Okay, so we need a few things. We need thing that like sets up a new collectible, like moves it around. Thing that moves it to a place and then sets up if it has some animation of it showing up, and then registering it with the camera thing. No, I won't need to register with the camera thing because it's to be one that moves around. It'll figure itself out. That'll be fine. Then the player will need to be like, hey, that's my destination now. Which actually, again, if it just moves, it could always be the player's destination. Oh wait, hold on. Yeah, okay. Active destination just needs to be your vector 3. Yeah, so I'll need to pass you in every frame, right? I think so. And then even okay, which actually, if I just go off of distance, then I don't even need the collectible to have a collider. Interestingly enough, I just go off of this. Interesting. So I'm gonna go public transform collectible, and that's gonna be the coin, and we're gonna say. I can't. Yeah, the destination's a vector 3. It's not a transform, so I pass in the coin's position. It's not gonna, position. Like that's not gonna do anything for me. What I will need with some of this, more logic's gonna have to go into like where to spawn the coin, make sure it's on the ground, make sure it's not in the air. I'll be able to, I have ideas for how I'll handle that. Just pick a random place and then raycast downwards, find the ground, and then go down. Then what? Ta-da! That should do the trick. Okay, so I won't worry about this for right now. Yeah, it won't be generating. I just need to like update destination is what I guess I'll call it, and then like, well, I guess out here, sure. But I guess yeah, just do that. Sure, I guess that's yeah, that works. I guess. And you know, do you start as well? I guess because why not? Yeah, it's fine. So the thing that makes this tricky is then this will be like, oh, we hit the thing. So I'll figure out what that's gonna do in a second. For now, just do things incrementally. Just print got the thing. Yeah. So have that. I've noticed that some of the cubes down there have broken. Let me just reload that one and fix them. So hopefully that won't be broken like that for long. Okay, so to also save me a second, so as I said, I guess this doesn't need to have Sphere Collider, which means it doesn't even need the collectible tag, interestingly enough. Coolsies. The collectible, if I'm gonna, to decide where it is, I'm gonna raycast it to the ground. That means that I'm gonna have the parent thing be on the ground, which will then work better with the nav mesh in terms of being distance to the nav mesh. It'll be better at being accurate, I guess. At least slightly off the floor, I guess. And then the model itself can then just be up. So, yeah. That works itself out. Okay, so that's a thing. You, player, say that collectible is where you're trying to go. And now go there. So I should see in the console in a few seconds. Oops. Got the thing! Yeah, we got the thing! Cool, whatever. So now I need something to actually move the collectible to a new place. That just the question is like, do I do that in this code, or would it be nicer? Probably be better to manage that, you know, in its own place. Well, I mean, the collectible itself could handle moving itself. Why not? I'll need to know its position. If I end up having multiple collectibles, then cycling all of that into this collectible manager thing, sure. If there's only a single collectible right now, I'll just put it on the thing. Scripts over here, wandering cubes. What do I call this? Collectible. I usually don't like to have just one. Spin is fine because it's like, oh, it does one thing, it spins. Collectible, it's gonna do a lot of things because it's gonna move it. It's gonna like potentially do animation stuff with it. It might. Collectible placer. I guess that. Yeah, sure. Good enough. Before I forget, let me just add you want to there. Okay, so on start, figure out where you gotta be. So for now, we're not gonna worry about fancy transitions. It's just going to snap to new place. We'll make this a public function that then the player will call. Public void move collectible. I don't know. More of a teleport, but whatever. So assuming the player calls this, then go and do something like transform.position equals, so we need to just figure out a new place. Is there an easy way to just, what would be perfect is, I want it to just be somewhere along the nav mesh. Is there any easy way to just be like Unity generate random point on nav mesh? Oh, I've Googled this before. I think I Googled this in a previous stream when I was looking at this. Right, I can sample position. That's a thing I can do. Right, okay, so one, I don't love it as an option. One thing I can do is go, like, generate, like, make a giant hypothetical bubble and then pick a random point in that and then get the closest nav mesh point to that place. Because I'm working off of a big old rectangle, doing that, I don't like that skews the randomness, because it's like, I don't know, more likely to end up picking a place kind of closer to the center, I guess. I'd rather it be relatively uniform. Also, right now, the nav mesh is a bit broken in that, like, there's, you know, a place up here that shouldn't technically be a thing, and up there. We'll deal with that. But assuming that pretending eventually the nav mesh is all, you know, proper. Well, I think I just do it similar. Just generate a random box, right? Generate a random point, negative whatever to positive whatever, negative whatever to positive whatever. Take that point, raycast to the floor. Or may I even need to do that raycast step? Okay, so just new vector 3. I'm gonna need like the map boundaries. Do I want to just public vector 3 map min and then map? Oh yeah, you got that. Okay. And then it says temporary stuff. We'll go just new vector 3. Go like, you know, -10, -10, and then positive those values just to the default things of full square. Not that that matters that much because we're then going to change it to figure out what it actually needs to be, but blah, blah, blah. It's fine. New vector 3 that is going to be random dot range between or just a, I think it'll automatically know these are floats, but just to, okay, actually, I don't think I need to do that. If I put inst in here that it only generates whole numbers, I want to make sure it's generating floats, but whatever, it probably will be fine. Okay, new vector 3, random.range from map min.x to map max.x, and then same with the, I don't know if there's a better way to, you know, do this specific code, have it be more automatic, but, you know, this works. It's fine. I don't think you can be like random dot vector between things, but oh yeah, it's fine. In the time it took me to consider potential new options, I already just did the thing. Okay, blah. Figure out that new place, and then that's not all. I then need you to actually be along the ground. So then I'm gonna need to say, so I have to actually pass in. Well, I can't just go mesh dot sample position. Transform dot position where we went, and then out. I guess I have to go. Yeah. Nav mesh hit, and then go blah. Max distance. No, we need to make sure that we hit somewhere. So, well, yeah. Math f. And then okay, there's a filter thing, area mask. I think I don't know what to put in. It's 0 for now, and I'll figure that out. Okay, and then this, you return a bool, but I think because I have it as infinity, like the bool is like whether it found something or not, I guess, but if I have it as infinity, then I guess it definitely will. So because I know that there's a thing. So then go, what do I have? Hit position? Yeah. Okay. Maybe not ideal to actually go move the position twice in a frame. That maybe I should separate that. Go like vector 3, new position equals that guy, and then pass you in there. It's probably just a little bit cleaner. Okay, so we'll try that. See if it works. Which that means that this map min and max, it's fine if I go slightly beyond. It doesn't have to be perfect. But, you know, the closer I get, the better. Okay, so minimum looking roughly like... Actually, I'm going to, for now, go purposely beyond with the future anticipation that I'll be making the map a lot bigger. So what that's... And then I'll round because, yeah. So negative... Well, I'll go 60 by negative... 15 by negative 2.5, really? Oh yeah, because 0 is basically where the camera is. So you know what? You can do 0 because you should not be further back than the camera. And then positive over here. Cool that the Cinema Machine camera is moving in play mode. Maybe I'll say go there, I guess. Positive being like 60 and 15 and 15. Okay, and then put you back anywhere in there for now. Okay, so on, we'll say on start, it's gonna trigger this. The player doesn't need to do that. Okay, So then also eventually this would be replaced by having maybe having like, you know, a sequence or like some animation of it like existing rather than being instant. Although this parent thing could be instant than just being the child that does whatever animation, so that might be fine. You don't use this, so you can go bye-bye. Then if we hit the thing, now we have to tell it to move and make sure this only runs once, which I guess it will because it'll move and then immediately this won't be that far anymore. So I need to basically go collectible placer. You know, since I'm already getting a reference to the object, I'll just get a reference to the placer and then go blad.transform. That's collectible dot update, or is it rand generate? What did I call the function? Move. Okay, good. Yes. Now the only thing with this where I might want a little bit more is that what more going on is right now this will be instant. It'll touch the thing and immediately start running towards the next one. I potentially want a little delay between each one. Have it hit the thing, it got the thing, be there for a second, wait a second, new thing spawns, and then it starts going. So I might add some delays, which then means that this will have to know to be able to sort of turn off and not do this when I don't want to go to the collectible, but we'll get there. It's a process. Okay, so collectible placer there, and then thing there. Type mismatch, of course. Yes, I didn't drag and drop the new thing. Didn't drag and drop the new thing. There we go. Yeah. Okay, let's see if this works. First try! Okay, cube. Go towards the... Already getting an error. Okay. Oh no! I'm gonna move. You got infinity. Uh-oh. That's what this spit out? Okay, so my guess is that the layer thing wasn't right. Is this where I need to do it like you do, I need to do it like you would do layers here. That might be how that works. It's ancient time. Area mask. It be these, right? So is there an easy way to just go all of them for right now? Because at the moment I don't care about where it spawns. It did have different options. There was area mask, and then there was nav mesh query filter. You know, let's use one of those. I can easily just go public nav mesh query filter, and then I can see what this does. If it's one something like yeah, like just a drop down of these, then that's clearer than just a number. It didn't show up. Really? Why not? If I just go filter dot, like, what things do you have? Oh, you're not just... Oh, you're like... Okay. You're not what I thought you were. I was hoping you'd just be, like, a list. If I just Google example usage of this, then I can just see what's an expected value. Navmesh.all areas is a built-in thing. Okay, awesome. Even better. Better than just magic numbers. -1 is... Okay. Good. Yep, Googling things helps. Right, the... in here is... Yeah, okay, so... Working... Next step would be... So, okay, the camera, I think, needs a bit more work with that, but as it currently is. But next thing I'd like to do, just before I go any further, get the nav mesh to be continuous. Oh, generate links is a thing? That's for jumping. But for now, I don't want that. Right, oh, physics. Oh.
trusting that that's something I can have. So, yeah, things be more optimal. Isn't there a thing where I could be like, generate a nav mesh, but make sure it's all one connected thing? Well, then what would it use? How would it know? Yeah, override tile size. Minimum region area. Okay, so like all I need is to basically be like this. Yeah, you're static, but don't count as being. I wouldn't want to mark it as an obstacle. How do you? I mean, I could just make this, you know, shorter or whatever, but let's see. Also, actually, better additional question is, why did you generate one inside there, or have I just not generated this in a bit? Fake. Or is it also like, if this goes through the floor, then will you figure yourself out? Is it just like you're slightly off the floor or something? Yeah. Why did you? Okay. I'm more questioning why it made one in there. Volume mesh modifier. I just do this as a test because why not? Makes sense. It would do basically the same thing for now. I want to see what generate links is gonna do. Oh right, because if you can't jump that high, then yeah, okay. Why and how? Why am I? Why do I? How do I? Do I have to just make these nav mesh obstacles? That's more for like if you have like enemies and stuff, right? What's nav mesh modifier do? Override area? Not walkable? Override generators. So I do that, and then, you know, and then will you figure? Oh, okay, cool, good. Did you figure out even on the inside? No. Why not? Why not? Why would you generate nav mesh data inside of another object? What would you? That's. Oh, I closed the Steam. JMusic didn't mean to do that. It's fine. Oh, and but okay, I guess we're gonna. Have to do that, sure. Unity nav mesh, like generating inside other mesh. I don't know. Why? I'm seeing things from 2016. I'm looking at stuff of it, yeah, being an issue, yeah. Okay. Just see. Yeah, I'm seeing other people having this kind of a problem, but I'm not seeing good solution. Dynamic modifier volumes. What do you do? Oh boy. Oh, so I just leave that as is and don't touch it. It's gonna generate it. It's gonna cut off there. Good. That's good enough for me. Okay, so let me just meh and blah. Because another thing that's nice about this versus like the Hangman with Unicycle is that I'm working in I'm working with, compared to that, I'm getting to work in a sort of smaller scale thing where I can cheat a lot more and get away with it. And I don't have to worry about like, oh no, I need something that's gonna work for like all of the levels with this crazy complicated player that goes up walls and stuff. Don't gotta worry about that as much. I can just, I mean, there's some degree where I can cheat in that game as well, but it's easier to cheat in this. Go, oh, this is just 1-1-1. That's, yeah. Although I don't know if that's gonna barely not count for up there or something. But, okay. Yeah, so now I do that, and then blah, and then bake. Okay, so you need to be slightly taller, I guess, which is fine. I'm okay to do that. Good. That's learning for later. Why did you... You're the... Oh, I duplicated the collectible at some point? What the heck? What the heck? Oh, sorry, no, that's... I should have zoomed in. That's the child, that's part of the visual stuff. Yeah. Here, I'll, I don't really need to do this, but I'll pair these under each other just because, yeah. They should technically move together, kind of, sort of. So why did you do that? You weren't supposed to... This thing isn't supposed to be part of any of the stuff with the nav mesh. Physical colliders? Then you'll figure yourself out? Okay. Oh, interesting. I noticed that if I do this, I think I see more... Oh, no, that's just because it's trying to, yeah, cut that hole. But what? Well, okay, but partially... So even if I don't want you to... This thing isn't marked as static, so why does it care about its existence? Like, what if I did have this as something that I... Would I have to actually just, like, turn it off, generate that thing, and then turn it back on? That seems messy, but... I mean, I guess in this particular case, I have the workaround just having it be on that anyway, and then it's fine, but I don't know. It's very possible that I'm just not using it right, but okay, let's try this now. And then it looks like I'll have to mess around with the camera more, because I think where my messing around before wasn't quite right. Okay. So that's, I think that's too close. It does not like... Ooh, it does not like, when I generate new things, I want it to, you know, smoothly move. So let's make that happen, shall we? Why am I not seeing the game window guides? Do I have to do that? What? This worked before. It worked 2 seconds ago. Is it something weird where it has to be, you know, a parent game object or something? Or is it only going to show when I do that? Okay, fair enough. Figured you out. Go to play mode. Should we find a... Okay. So, when you... Oh, yeah, do this. Okay. See, there you smoothly moved. Why did... But you were still off screen, though. How come with the other one you, like, snapped? Why are you not doing that anymore? Why? Is it because it snapped to being like, was it a forward back issue? I don't know. Put this to 0.5 maybe? Just don't zoom in quite as much. Have a maximum distance you're allowed to zoom in. I think I want to decrease, like have the dolly speed actually be lower. That's this, right? No, that's it's gonna be instant, yeah. Yeah, I think, okay. Because again, another thing, this particular animation, it's supposed to be slow thing going on down there that like isn't supposed to be, hey, it snapped again, why? What the heck is going on? Like, I get that this thing teleporting around probably isn't great for it, but it should still, like, I don't know, work. Not yeah, not snap around. Let me try also going, you know, let's try this unlimited soft zone thing. Maybe that might fix it. Like, hitting that dead zone might be what's causing it to teleport. So let's just try not having that. Right. The dead zone of it not doing stuff. I don't know. Do I want? I don't know if I want it. Let me just mess around with. Yeah, not having a or having a dead zone where it doesn't move, but it still is. Oh right, because it's placed right. Interesting. It's yeah. And I have the camera currently set to move quite slowly, so it makes sense. We'll speed up a little bit and then just keep messing with numbers. Aha. Did I want to actually bring back in the zooming? It's just a little bit extra camera flare that might help, just as long as it doesn't like go out too far. And then yeah, 30 to 40. That's not. I think that's not terrible. Let me go 20. You're allowed to have that as your minimum. And there's also this like, whoa, look at, whoa, crazy. Okay, and that's so that's different. That's different than turning this. Interesting. Weird, but interesting. What happens if I make it like 45? What do you do now? You're like going down from above a little bit. I think I want it to be more from back. I don't know what the perfect angle is going to be. Ooh, you generated too close to the edge? Oh, just barely. Generated too close to the edge so you couldn't get on there exactly. That might be something to consider. Or maybe I just, you know, I mean, given the size of the player, I just, you know, bump that over a bit and then maybe it'll figure itself out. It is, yeah, how often is it generating on the edge? Because it in theory is when it's generating random points, anytime it's generating that little bit out here, it's going to snap to an edge. And I don't love it being on an edge. I could, if I really wanted to, I could set up like predetermined spawn points or whatever. Like when the level's more complicated, like here's specific spots where it spawns and it picks one of those. But, you know, it'd be great if it was able to be more random. I suppose in this kind of case, I could, if I could detect that it's on an edge or whatever, maybe then I could be like, do some extra rule where you pick a spot and then move further in. But I might save doing something like that until the actual nav mesh is more complicated, because I want to make sure I do something that's going to work for a more complicated scenario, because I don't want to, if I do any kind of extra moving, yeah, so this is the problem. This fixes itself if I just move this in, so let's do that. And that is done by changing that, well, like it's like it'd be if I changed this to 1, yeah, and then where are you? Wait. Well, radius of 1? No, well, okay, I mean, okay, yeah, say go overkill on that, and then I don't know if that is the best way to do this, but voxel size, tile size. This minimum region mesh. This is a region, right? That's if it tries to generate a little thing over here, and if it doesn't generate a thing over there big enough, then just don't bother. I think that's what that's for. Yeah, making that wider, I think should be fine. Yeah. In theory, the only thing that's using this nav mesh is specifically this cube to get that coin. So, yeah, should be all right. Yeah, yeah, it's a start. It is a start. It's definitely gonna need a lot more to get to being, you know, properly good, but it is a start. I don't know if I want to mess with the colors more, but I worry if I do that it's gonna just be bad. Although I don't know how much I want the brown. Is that like default, like temporary kind of color? Is the player slightly off the ground? Hold on. I think I've just noticed that being a thing, and yeah, why? Like, excuse me. Here, I'll back up to it being brown. Okay. Well, yeah, let's go with this, because again, I want it to be like a snowy environment eventually, but while it's a default not that, we'll do that for now or something. Okay. The player should also be... I think what's going to make the player work better is... if I do this. Well, okay. Duplicate and then under, and then go player model. Have a child object that's all the visual stuff. Move it up 0.5. Have the parent player that is what's perfectly on the ground. Even then, you aren't perfectly that. What are you saying? Is it the ground that's slightly off? No, what the heck? Where are you going to be negative 0.5 to be down that far? I'll figure you out in a second. Let me just you're off. You and you. And then even I guess the box part actually. Oh no, you are slightly going in the floor. You can be 0. Oh, the collider as well. I don't even know if you need a collider, but wait, why am I seeing? Oh, it's this guy? Yeah, okay. Jeez. 0. Yeah, why are you still slightly off? Right? Am I crazy? Is the nav mesh off? The fact that there's a difference here. You see this line here, and then this goes down, and then that's that, right? That's like there's a slight offset, right? And I don't know if that's just the nav, but the nav mesh looks like it's on the floor, so I think that's also. No, why? Oh, the nav mesh it generated is slightly above the ground. Why? Why would it do that? Wow. Because I can't have that because then the player is gonna float. If I go into play mode, then the player is floating, right? Yeah, but Unity nav mesh off ground. Why? I'm assuming there's some offset somewhere in the. Is it after I made those modifications that I need to generate a new one or something? Is it in the agent settings? So height, radius, your name, areas. I don't see anything that looks like this step height isn't what that is. Where is player? So there's like what I can have this be slightly off the ground and then it'll put it down, which is like not a good way to do this, but so I just see this as a test that will do what I think it's gonna do. Now the player's slightly through the floor and their nav mesh is slightly off the ground, but that's not really a good workaround. Why? Why? I did see that there's nav mesh surface, which, how is that any different than, wah. Oh, sorry, no, that's just the nav mesh. Sorry, that's just this. Never mind. Ha. Why? Why is it slightly off the ground? It shouldn't be. It seemed to just build a height mesh, but that shouldn't be what I need, right? That's gonna like be more expansive, right? But even when you're on, you're not doing anything. Why? Why is this being a problem? Because again, it shouldn't be this. Base offset. But you are relative to Lego pivot. Yeah, your pivot's there. How far high are you? 0.05. So I mean, can I also? I guess I could take this. If I take this and move you down by that much, and then rebake, you're gonna undo. So I wouldn't want. I want a solution that's gonna consistently work if I keep rebuilding the nav mesh, right? So why would Unity do this? Why is this whatever default stuff going on? Okay, I guess I'll just live with it for now. With fixing it through the player by going, you're all zeroed. Don't bother building that. Bake. You do that, and then move the base to match. No, because this will fall onto through the rigid body, so it should just be. I guess if this moves up slightly, which is weird. I'm saying that. Yeah, that's weird. Oh, sorry, 0.55. Yeah. And then U 0.05. Negative. What? Oh, yeah, you're good, And then 5. Weird, don't like it, but if it works, then for now, fine. I can do more Googling later. Wait. Oh, sorry, no, sorry. I didn't, this isn't what I want. No, I want the visual bit need to move down was what, no. This down, that slightly up, which I don't like that they don't match then, but whatever. For a small scale thing like this, I can get away with such cheats. For something like, hey, man, with the E-Cycle, I would need to do a lot more, which I don't know if that's game's gonna have traditional like enemies. It's gonna have lots of hazards and obstacles, but we'll see. We'll see how far that goes. Okay. We got the following. Next thing I'm immediately noticing is that I don't know if the character should actually be center of frame. I might want a Y bias. Now that I look at this. Yeah, like this, where the player's mostly on top, they should be mostly below. You see a bit above them. I think should be how it be. Okay, so to make that happen, let's do this. Yeah, that works, I guess. Make numbers more exact, just because. Yeah. Now that dead zone, do I want to mess with that anymore, or? Let me try also going back to these being 1, just to see if I actually let it be faster again. You really... That's why I wanted it to be slower, I think. How do you, like, overshoot and then correct yourself? That's what that looks like it's doing. Oh, that's the look ahead time, isn't it? I'll get rid of that real quick. Do I bring back the dead zone? I don't want the snapping, but I don't think that that should be that close to the edge of frame. Maybe it's fine as it is for now. Okay. Next thing I want to try, I guess. How much time I got? Well. Well, how much further do I want to go with this? Actually, wait, no, what do I want to do next? If I were so the next thing I would next thing I would potentially do is delays. Have the player sit still for a second after getting a collectible. Do I spawn the next one immediately? I think having a second of no collectible and then have it pop back in, which then means I need to make it. I need to make it invisible. I need to have some, like a couple frames where this isn't automatically always trying to guess destination. You need to be able to kind of deactivate and then reactivate, I guess. When it's deactivated, I might do something to make the player like face forward so that like if eventually I summon out for a person while he's not running after a collectible, he's just facing the camera doing some idle animation or whatever. There's an easy way of doing that. Can I, or would I just, can I? Yeah. Yeah. In terms of how I could cheat that, I could have that when the nav mesh, when it gets the collectible and it's done, it's got the collectible, generate a new destination that's like just like a little bit in front of it so that it turns towards that. Just do that for like a second once you're there. But then I don't want to actually necessarily move. I'd rather, well, it should move a little bit. Maybe I'll come back to that. But having just a delay on the thing disappears and then, although, how long are we going? About 2 hours. I am actually a bit out of time, I think. So I think maybe we save that for next stream, perhaps. Yeah. Because after we're done this, in terms of what do we do next, then I gotta potentially start planning out more with the environment. Well, either so more with the environment or getting the actual like the nav mesh part of the environment, like before we jump straight into whatever the final like super amazing graphical whatever that's gonna look like, just like this, but there's a slope now, there's 2 floors with some slope that goes between them, even just that kind of stuff we could start to make. And then I don't know how far I want to go with that right away, because so that sort of falls into 2 camps of just the programming wise having the environment be more interesting, and then art wise having the environment be just having more going on, like how much I want to go into either of those things. And then third area is, I guess, the player itself. Basically whether the next thing I want to start doing is more the visuals or like the cool programming, and I guess to some degree I want a 50-50 it. We'll see. I guess as a final test though, actually, before we actually go, let's just try seeing what it looks like replacing down there. So if I just go build and run, it should, is it gonna close that and then relaunch it because it should only have 1 instance? Let's find out what it does. Let's see, shall we? And yeah, and then I can find someone to raid and then get going. And then tomorrow stream, I believe, then we're going to be doing hand-to-hand with Unicycle, and did it? Oh, wait, okay, it kind of did both. Let me close both of these, and then, oh boy, and then relaunch it through this, and then I think it'll launch the right one. I'll put it over there for some reason. Okay, it launched here. Is it going to be down there in a few seconds? Please, OBS, recognize it. It's the same program. You should figure it out. No. Okay, might have to set it up manually. Why did you not? This, if I put it to you, are you gonna grab it? Figure it out, please. OBS. No, yeah, you should be that one. I have no idea why OBS isn't taking it in. I mean, where did you build to? You should have built on top of the old one and then. Yeah, you're here. This is what OBS is supposed to hook onto. Why? hey, okay, figure yourself out. Okay, whew. Why? I don't know why it took that many attempts, whatever. But okay, I figured it out. Okay, so now we got a thing there. I'm still not like perfectly happy with like the colors, whatever. But we got like a placeholder coin that whip that up quick enough. So maybe the next thing, like when I'm working on this, next time I'm working on this, maybe the next thing we do is, words, English. Next time we're working on this, next thing we'll do is maybe some graphical stuff. Just get like a placeholder environment, get some like trees and just like for snowy stuff. I don't know. Yeah, I think that will like, even with the same programming that this thing currently has, that'll just make it a lot more of what I actually want it to be. So even if it's not going to look amazing yet, just like getting it more than just what it currently is. And then I can have some simple like slopes and stuff. The nav mesh should be able to handle simple slopes and whatnot, so you can get that stuff in there. But then I want to potentially make it more complicated with actually like gaps to jump and like be cool to have like one-way pits to fall down to, or something like that, which making that work with the nav mesh might be tricky, and I might have to sort of hijack it. Might have to like hijack some things where it's like, oh, if the coin is like across the map and it's like, oh, I figure out that like the fastest path would be to go to a place to just drop down and then go. But I sort of have to hijack the destination, say like, go here and then trigger a thing, fall down here, and then finish off the path that is getting to the coin or something. We'll see. We'll figure it out. That'll be a next time thing, I think. But anyway, made some cool progress. I think the camera does help it. The camera could probably still use some work, still some tweaks or whatever. Right there, I do see that, it when it zooms out that far, then I see the skybox, which, might, that'll be stuff that we figure out more when we make an actual environment. Then I can play around more with the specific camera settings and, so looking at how far can the camera zoom out, so then how much environment do I really got to account for beyond where the player's actually going to go, and yada, yada, yada. We'll figure it out. So, anyways, now, so that's it for this stream animation thing for now. As I said, next stream, we'll be back working on Headman with Unicycle, where I think between now and then, I'm going to do more Googling and stuff to see if I can figure out the camera and player rotation issues with that. But then come next stream, then the next thing I'll be doing is getting the try to get the player functional in the other scenes again. So like the hub manager and like the demo level that we were starting. I'm sure that won't take long. It's just looking at all the null errors that are happening now that like, because we have the new player that like the hub world thing is not is not expecting or whatever. So just probably just fixing some references and potentially adding some components onto the new player that aren't there from the old player stuff. And then, then we'll go from there, figuring out sort of what we'll be doing next. So anyways, I guess that'll do it for this live stream. If you liked it, look forward to more. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you around. And now we raid somebody, because I forgot to set that up before doing my outro. So we're going to... How about this person? Doing some Unity thing. Blam, and over here, buttons and buttons, red, and blah and blah and da, and pressing our buttons. Okay. Yeah. Alrighty, dighty. All right, and here we go, pressing buttons. All right, that's it for me for now. See y'all tomorrow, or I think I'll be streaming tomorrow. If not, then the day after that, or whatever. Whenever I'm back for Unicycle stuff, and then Pac-Man, and then back into this, and more streams to follow. So all right, yeah, all right. See ya.